All right, I'm really excited today. We're going to be talking about our first step in our 7 steps to a superabundant marriage. Honor your wedding vows. And you know, when most people hear honor your wedding vows, we naturally think of sexuality and being true to our spouses for the rest of our lives. What we don't often think of is like the emotional and intellectual connection we share with our spouse. And we're back with Mark and Lee Herman, and they're going to talk about a little bit about that emotional and intellectual connection that spouses share together and how important that is.
Yeah, for us it's really important to live out our sacrament of matrimony with the spiritual, well, not only the spiritual and physical intimacy that we share, but really that emotional and intellectual intimacy. And we really have found that we have to have couple dialogue, we have to have couple time together. We actually have to schedule, couple dialogue for us to make sure we're connecting with each other, to make sure that we have that emotional, intellectual connection. And that's really how we live out our sacrament, through that. When we're not connected emotionally and intellectually, we don't feel as connected with God. We feel like our lives are just not as complete. There's something missing in our day, and things just don't run as well.
Well, and I think the emotional and intellectual connection feeds into the physical connection too. So when we're not engaged in one another, and we're not spending that time together through that dialogue and finding out what's going on, then it kind of can lead to a feeling of use, really, even within the marriage. Kind of being used in the physical, that physical connection. So we found that really for us, scheduling that time and engaging in conversation every night, really, and sometimes it's a 10-minute little, talk or whatever, but sometimes it's hours, and we have to schedule that. We have to get a babysitter. So maybe we'll go somewhere where we sit and talk and really connect. We talk about ourselves personally, we talk about ourselves as a couple, as a family. We kind of go through a list of kind of like a little check-in. How are we doing, and what do we need to change? And then after that, I feel like the overall intimacy is just much stronger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we really find out what we need from each other. I mean, what does Lee need me to pray for her? What are prayer intentions that I can pray for? So it kind of feeds into the spiritual from there. But we're busy. We have busy lives. We're changing every day. So when I come home from work, I'm a different person than when I left that morning, and I need to share myself with Lee, because that's what we're called to in our sacrament and honoring our wedding vows.
Well, thank you guys. And that advice, being married 12 years myself is gold, and everyone needs to hear that. One thing my wife and I have recognized is sometimes too, just the really practical side is you just have to get away where it's only the two of you, no phones, no TV, no kids, and there's nothing else to do. You can't let your mind wander, because your mind will go in a million different places. Like, okay, we have to talk to each other and share and be vulnerable. So thank you. It's golden advice. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back next week.